Welcome to the channel. These are Model 2 questions that can break your score. Are you ready for the challenge and are you preparing for your SAT? Take a ride with me. Let me know how you do. Keep track of your record. Stop the video, answer the question on your own, and then see how I approach it. First question. P and Q are positive integer constant. And they've given you this expression. They say S is less than 0, Y is less than 0. Which of this must be true? This, you don't need any calculation. You don't need Desmos. You just have to think about it. Now, there are certain things they've given you. X is less than 0. Y is less than 0. That means these are all negative numbers. Then you ask yourself, these negative numbers multiply to give you a positive number. Therefore, there's a certain condition. We have a negative multiplying. They can be odd numbers together. They can give me positive number 64. Or these negative multiplying, the exponent has to be even. They can still give you a positive 64. So P and Q can be both positive, that means odd numbers, or P and Q can be even numbers. This is key. But you have to know this. If you take two even numbers, an even number times E will give you an even number. If you take an odd number times odd number, it gives you what? Odd number. If you take even number multiplied by an odd number, you still get an even number. If you take odd number multiplied by even number, you still get an odd number. This is the condition you're going to use to answer the question. Therefore, which of these must be true? Well, P is even. Well, I told you P, two P's, you can have P and Q, they have to be all odd numbers to give you 64. One cannot be odd and even. You have to need two even numbers and two odd numbers so that your number, a positive number. Therefore, this is not necessarily true. Q has to be even. Well, Q can be odd number too. And P can also be odd number. P and Q can be odd number. Well, we said the two numbers has to be what? Two odd numbers or two even numbers. When you multiply two even numbers, you get even number. When you multiply two odd numbers, you get what? Odd number. Therefore, PQ cannot be odd. It's not necessarily true. The same thing, E is not true. The only option is what? D. Why? We need a positive number. Therefore, the basis has to be what? The two negative has to be there. The only way we can get those two negative number multiplying is when the exponents, both of them are either odd or even. And you can see if you take two odd numbers and you multiply, what do you think? It gives you odd number. But when you add them, they're going to give you even numbers. So two odd numbers add together, give you even numbers. Two even numbers add together, give you what? Even numbers. Therefore, this is always going to be true. Like I take 1 and 3. If I add them together, I get 4. I take 2 and 6, I get 8, right? No matter what you do, when you add two odd numbers, you get what? Even. When you add two even numbers, you get even number. So this is the way to approach it. You don't need to do any calculation. Analyze the question. All the questions, most of them are critical thinking like that. If you're able to do this critical thinking, set 800 will be yours. Question 2 is the same. They give you this function. You can see this is exponential function. They say g of x, they did not give you, but it said it's an increasing linear function. That means it's what? Mx plus c. They say in the xy plane, the f of x and g of x intersect at 2 points. They give you the point mr and ns, where n is greater than m. Which of these must be true? Same thing. You got to analyze. We're going to draw our x-axis, something like that, and our y. They say what? F of x is this exponential function. If you look at it, this is growth. And growth, exponential function, you've done a bunch of Desmos, you know how it look. They are like exponential function with asymptote. They never reaches the x-axis. So like up to infinity, so something like that. And so this is your f of x. Your g of x is a linear function. If it's a linear function that is increasing, I would draw something like that. So this is our linear function that is increasing in nature like that. So this is our g of x. They give you the coordinate where they intersect. So one intersect here, intersect here. If you bring this down, this will be n because n is greater than m. So m will be here. And the y coordinate here. We don't need the y coordinate. Based on the question, I don't need to worry about r and s. Don't freak out. Now you got to answer the question. They said, if g of x is greater than f of s, this is, what do you think is the area are they talking about? If they say g of s is greater than f of s, well, look at the graph. This is g of x and this is f of s. Which one is on top? G of s is on top. So at this area, g of x is the biggest. So it's larger than f of s. This is the area you should be worried about. So between this n and m, g of s is bigger. And therefore, is this true? N is greater than x. Well, that means from here to here, this is x. That means for every value of x, n is going to be greater than x. It's true. And s is greater than m. It's true. Therefore, this is good. If g of s is greater than x, this saying m is greater than x. Well, we just said that m is here, m cannot be greater than x. Therefore, this is wrong. If f of s is greater than g of x, look at the graph where f of s is on top. So here, like that, f of s is on top. Here, f of s is on top. S is greater than m. Well, x will be here. Look at it. And if f of s is greater than what? G of x, here, from here, f of s is greater than g of s. That means from here, top here, m has to be greater than s, right? M has to be greater than s. Same thing. F of s is greater than g of x. S is greater than n. Therefore, this cannot be true. This is how you analyze them. If g of x is equal to f of s, that means here, m is greater than x, where m should be equal to x because they are the same line. M is equal to x. So that's not true. If g of s is greater than or equal to f of s, s is greater than n. No, it cannot be. That means it's greater. If it's greater, that means n is greater than s is greater than m. But if it's equal to, you just use the same function, m, x, and you put equal sign here, something like that. And so x cannot be greater than n. And this is how you analyze everything. I want you to watch this portion of the video. If you see a question like that, they can change it. They can make the function decay. It does not matter. So far as you understand the graph, the rest of the question become easy. Watch it again. Look at the way I analyze it. This is model 2 activated. We are in the beast mode right now. This is another question. Most people will try to use Desmos. Look, it's a waste of time. I will show you how you can save a minute with this question. It said, in the given equation, C is a positive constant. The product of the solution to the equation is 180. What is C? Look at the question carefully. Before even you start solving the question, look at it. They say all of this is equal to 0. That means those are factors. They are factors. You don't have to do anything. If you open this function, that means you don't understand factorization. once again, if you open these factors together and trying to expand them, you are not understanding the question. Don't do that. Now, if these are factors, that means the product rule, zero product rule. You have two numbers multiplying to give zero. What does that mean? That means 4x plus 9 should give it 0. Therefore, x is equal to minus 9 over 4. That is my first function. That is the strategy. X plus square root of 7c plus 5 should give you 0. That is the second function. That means x is equal to negative square root 7c plus 5. That is the second one. The third one is the same thing. It's just the negative changes. So x is equal to square root of 7c plus 5. And it said the product of all this should give you 180. Oh, that's easy. That means minus 9 over 4 multiplied by negative square root of 7c plus 5. 7c plus 5 should be equal to 180. That means negative 9 over 4 negative, this will be what? 7c plus 5 is equal to 180. Then you solve it. What do you think will happen? This cancels that, right? And then you're going to have 7c plus 5, 180 times 4 over 9, right? This go here, 20. Therefore, 7c plus 5 is equal to 80. C is going to be 75 over 7. And that's your right answer. And as you can see, we did not do anything. We just take the information they've given you. It's a product of the solution. We find all the products, then we multiply it together. If you expand it, you're going to see how painful it is going to be. You don't need even Desmos to do this. Question 4 is a tricky one. They're giving you this diagram. They say MNOP as a side length of 4 is a square. So this is 4. The triangle MQP is equilateral triangle with the vectors is M and P on the square. What is the area of the region inside the square but outside the triangle? That means inside the square but outside the triangle. So this is where they want us to calculate. This is the area. What do you think? Flip the diagram because of the way the diagram is. I just flip it into 2 like that so that I can see it much better, right? And then M is here and P is here, O and N. And then we have our triangle here, something like that. Look at it. It's a square. That means this is also 4. This is 4, 4, 4. I'm going to draw an altitude coming down because it's a equilateral triangle. You know, this is congruent to that and that. If you draw the perpendicular altitude coming down like that, 90 degrees, right? You know this is 60. Therefore, this has to be 30 and this has to be 60. This becomes a 60, 30 degrees triangle. So this is 60 and this is 30. And therefore, this has to be 2. You know that if the smaller side, which is the S, is 2, then the bigger side, 90 degrees, has to be 2S, which is 2. This has to be 4. And this has to be, what, 2 square root of 3. That's all. Because it's facing the 60. Now, we can just calculate the area of the equilateral triangle, which is what? Half times the base times the height. The base is the whole 4. So 1 times 4 from here to here. And the height is to 2 square root of 3. That's all. 2 here, this gives you 4 square root of 3. So this is the area of the equilateral triangle. The area of the square is going to be 4 times 4, which is 16. Now, the area that we got to calculate, this is the shaded area. There is no shaded, but area outside the region of the equilateral triangle, but inside the square, you just subtract it. Therefore, 16 minus 4 square root of 3. This is your right answer. It's a critical thinking question. You know how to do it. You just have to apply some strategy to answer this question. Another question, you may try to use Desmos, but be careful. Whenever you see s raised to 4, Desmos usually will try to fake numbers. Sometimes it's difficult to find integers because the question is asking you integers. So be careful. You can try, but I'm going to show you algebra. I think it's the easiest thing to do, even though it looks complicated. A given quadratic function has a factor in the form of this, where a, b, c, d, h are all positive integers. What is the smallest product of this CD? So what you do is you can put this in Desmos, especially for the factorization. I usually put GCF, greatest function, for factors for 60, 145, and 75. Desmos most likely will give you 5. 5 would basically simplify this. So we're going to use 5. 5 simplify this, and this will get 12 s to the power 4, 29 s squared plus 15. And so this is what you left with. Now, this is where the money shot comes from. You have 12 s raised to 4, 29 s squared plus 15. The way I factorize this, I try to do the basically, I create my bracket and I said, I know my for that 15 is going to come from 2 numbers, right? What are the 15? Most likely 3 and 5. It does not matter where you put the 3 and 5 initially. You have to factorize and see if the middle number matches. So I assume I put a 5 here and 3 here. That will give me this. Now deal with the 12. Only there's a couple of numbers. 12 has a couple of numbers. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 4 and 3. These are your possible numbers. Then when you put them together, factorize it and see if it give you the 29. 29 is the key. 29 is determine what factors you should use, because the middle number should come out from both the left and the right. The most likely one is 4 and 3. So try and see. You can see, like, if I put 3x squared plus 4x squared, this is what the function is going to look like. And when you open, you know, you can check right away. You see the middle number usually come from what? Think about it. It comes from 3 times 3 plus 5 times what? 4, right? So this is 920. Just a quick check. You see that, oh, your factorization is right. If it's not, you just flip the numbers. And so the actual factorization, like I said, is going to be our 3 s squared is going to be here. We have our 5 and our 4 s squared plus our 3 here. And so these are our factors, right? But then you got to think, you said, okay, they're asking you for smallest possible number. So we have a combination 3 and 5 and 4 and 3. Remember, it says C and D, but C and D can be A and B. So when they give you that, don't think you have to limit yourself. We don't know which one. We can put the 4s squared plus 3 in front, and you still get the same number. So that's why you use the pair of factorization, 3 and 5 and 4 and 3, basically. And then you try to find what is the smallest, right? You cannot just do 5 and 4 because it's not going to give you the answer choice. the one in the bracket is what you're going to use. So this give you 12, this give you 15. The smallest one is 12. So that's your right answer. C and D, once again, does not mean anything. C can be here and D can be here. A can be here. You can flip them back and forth. But this is the easy way to factorize this, like something crazy, but actually it's free. They give you h of s this. They say C and D are positive constant, right? In the XY plane, where the h of s as what? Intercept of what? Y-intercept of 5. If the product of C and D is 18, what is the value of C? This is a straightforward question, right? They give you this function. And they said Y-intercept, that means 0, 5, right? That means when f of 0, h of 0 should give you 5. I put h of 0 here. I get 5 minus c raised to 0 plus d. Now 5, this will be negative 1 in d. Therefore, d is what? 6. And it said the product, C times D is 18. Therefore, C is 18 over D. 18 over 6 is 3. And that's your right answer. You don't have to overthink it. Question is probability question, problem solving. These are Model 2 heartbreakers. They look complicated, but trust me, this is the easiest question you get. They put it in Model 2 because most students couldn't figure out how to solve this. I've made 2 videos on this. Easy way, check my channel. You'll learn how to do that. Let's get to it. Table give distribution of vote for general club leaders in a high school. For grade level, there is 80 students in the class. And the leaders, there were 4 leaders, A, B, C, D. And then 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade voted. If one of the students is selected at random, what is the probability of selecting a student who vote for a new leader was for C, right? Think about it. The table gives distribution of vote for general club leader in a high school. So student vote. There's 80 of them from 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. And the leaders were those who were getting the vote. How do you set this up? My key is when you read the question, the first word that you encounter that is on the table should go down, your denominator, and the word following it right away should go up, your numerator. So let's look at the question. It said what? If one student is selected at random, whenever you hear the word random, that means the whole population, right? The whole population is selected. What is the probability of the selected student who votes for the new leader was for C? So at random is basically the whole what? Population. So the whole population is 80. What is the probability of selecting a student who votes for a leader, but what leader did he vote for? C. Then you look at it. These are 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. The leader C is this way. Therefore, C is all the students. These are the vote. 9 from 5th grade, 2nd grade, 2 from 6th grade, and 9 from 7th grade. Therefore, this is 9 plus 2 plus 9. That's all. This is what? 20. 20 over 80. That means 1 over 4. So 1/4 of the student voted for a leader for C. And this is how you answer this kind of question. It looks complicated, but the answer choice should pop out like a candy. Thank you for your time. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope these 7 questions challenge you. You learned something. If you like this video or you have a comment about any question, put it in the comment section. Let me know. I will explain it. If you need more, the next video that will come up is another challenging one. Take care of yourself, and beast mode 2 is conquered. Take care of yourself. Bye.